Incoming transmission. Let's go!
Another season of GSL is now in its final chapter. We have two players left. One Dark, one Maru. If Maru wins this, he will make history again, winning his 9th GSL. Dark, who has been in his shadow for many seasons in the past, is here to try to usurp that, to stop that, to start playing catch up. It's going to be a hell of a final state.
Feels like it would be a Herculean task for anyone to take down Maru in Korea right now, but if there's one person in the world that can do it, it's Dark.
And we're going to bring our two players out. Let's meet them now. This player was interviewed years ago and said he doesn't want to just be known as a StarCraft player and one of the greatest. He wants to be known as the StarCraft player and the greatest. He's here to prove that tonight. The best Zerg in Korea and one of the very best Zergs in the entire world. It is Dark.
One of the most confident players of StarCraft 2 at all time, and for very good reason, making yet another championship finals.
So cool to have him here now. By the way, I didn't know we were going to have these banners over here.
Oh, it's amazing.
All of the GSL audience under one control group. You can see it here now.
We F2
We F2'd the entire audience, excuse me.
I'm so excited to get started here, Tasteless.
Yeah, I'm super pumped.
Aiming to make his 9th GSL championship, the greatest Terran player in Korea, the greatest Terran player of all time.
The TL.net GOAT, in your face, internet, lose your minds. There's nothing you can do. You can't stop me from saying that. Ah, it's Maru. Europe just screeching right now. No!
Artosis, he's waking up in
Artosis,
a
yes,
cold sweat.
that's right.
No, it's a rogue, Tasteless, it's a rogue.
Honey, what's wrong? What's wrong, Artosis? Oh, I just had a bad dream, wife-tosis.
If only he was here to argue with you and prove you wrong. Oh, Maru coming onto the stage. This guy has been here more than anybody else. Can he do it again? Cannot wait to find out.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. I mean, this is, to be honest, a finals we've had before. It's an iconic finals, and I'm glad we're going to have it again. And who knows, maybe Dark can cause the upset. Maybe he can stop Maru from, again, winning his 9th GSL in the 13 years that GSL has been in existence.
The two finalists have stepped on the stage. We're going to have a brief interview with the two players before they head off to the finals match. Who will be the player to lift up the trophy for GSL 2024 Season 2? Let's have a talk with Dark. Dark, your mustache and your beard. You wanted to shave it off for so many years, but you still have it on. You still maintain the beard. Every time, you were fended off by Maru. You showed phenomenal performance in the previous match against Cure. You have made it here to the final stage. Do you think this is your time to win? Rather than thinking this is the right time, I just yearn the victory so much. I just desire it so much. I really want to win today. In the recent offline match, you were taken down by Maru. Now you seek revenge today. But Maru right now, he seems so poised. I mean, like after winning in the previous match today, he had a big smile on his face. He seems so calm. He seems so poised. It made me really annoyed. It angered me. It made me furious. You know, every time Maru lies, Maru says that he's not in a good condition. He's not playing well today. But every time he says that, he always wins. Maru, honestly, you watched Dark play today, and I know you had a conversation with him. You know, Maru, you said you wanted to celebrate. You said congratulations to Dark. You said that he's gonna shave it off today. Were you being honest? Yes, I was being honest. I'm not confident today, but I'm just really happy that I made it to the final stage. Is that the reason why you have a smile? That's right. You have so many GSL trophies under your belt. Now you just want to add one more to your addition. You're probably not nervous today, right? Ahead of the match today. You have so many Royal titles, you have so many GSL titles. You know, I never really thought that way. I'm not too confident today. But if I do fill up the 9th GSL trophy, I think I can go for the 10th one. I do want to win today for my 9th GSL trophy. Then preparing for the round of 4 and the finals, did you anticipate Dark to be on the final stage? Well, it was kind of like a 50-50 for me. You know, when he won the first game, I kind of knew that he would make it to the finals. So are you not nervous at all ahead of the final stage? Well, currently my TVZ form is not so good, and Dark is a phenomenal player. So that's why I kind of lack confidence in today's finals. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how the first game works out. Dark. Maru's just saying that he's not confident. What do you think about that? You know, every time he's been like that in the final stage, every time I lose to him, he always said the same thing over and over. But this time, I think, you know, Maru, he has some strategies against me. So Maru, Dark, you have to go to the military soon. So in front of these huge audience, so tell us your mindset heading into the series. You know, since the round of 16, it's been a tough journey. You know, all the opponents were so formidable, but I did give my all, and then I endeavored, and then I made it here. So I'm gonna try to put up a good performance today. So Dark, you want to say something to Maru right now? If Maru wins today, it's his 9th GSL trophy. You know, even if I just steal one trophy from him, he's probably not gonna notice. So I think he should go easy on me today. He has so many titles. So Maru, you said that you wanted to go double digit, get 10 trophies. And in front of you, you have so many fans, so many viewers, so anything to say to them? You know, previously in the Sangam Colosseum, I went runner-up, I came runner-up. But this time, I will try to come out as the winner and try to add one more trophy to my collection. So anything you want to say to your rival, Dark? Well, I hope we put up a fun match. But you know, Dark is scary, he's an intimidating opponent. I hope we just have a fun match today. Maru, he's smirking right now, he has a smile on his face. You guys know, right? You guys know Maru's character by now. You know, it always triggers me. I'll try to put up a good performance today. Yes, what a great finals we have today. It's gonna be a very neck and neck one for sure. Who will be the one to lift the GSL trophy? Let's take up the finals for 2024 GSL Season 2.
Wow. Dark versus Maru. Dark looking to lift that championship trophy, looking to steal one of 9 from Maru. Can he actually do it?
I mean, look, this is going to be a great finals. I think Dark can do it. I think Maru probably will take it. I don't think that prediction is out of the ordinary or unreasonable. Look, man, Maru, he's looking better and better. It's weird to say, but he does bring in these new styles of play. Like even that weird timing where he almost took out the pylon to deny the Immortal, where probably the game would have ended there. It's like, God, you're still figuring things out. You're not just recycling the same old ideas and coming back looking better.
Yeah, but basically every single final between these guys, if it doesn't go to Game 7, at least goes to Game 6. So you see right there on the screen.
Yeah.
They are neck and neck in terms of ZVT. Dark, he looked stellar in his first series against Cure. He only dropped 1 map in that ZVT, and honestly, he was able to kind of shield his builds away from Maru a little bit, going to the same Roach Ravager Lake timing attack in game number 1 and game number 2. So for Maru coming in here, probably going to be a little bit of question marks about how Dark is going to play in this best of 7.
And even if Maru is favored to take this, I think that Dark is one of the toughest opponents Maru can go up against in the entire world. Maru tends to come out on top. He tends to finish the race first. But, you know, Dark is a very crafty player. He's really been one of the few players that's truly been on the forefront of Zerg, someone who's really been engineering the race to be played the way that we understand it today. This was never a player who was kind of copying people better than him. He kind of made his own path, navigated his own way. But Maru, you know, he's quintessential StarCraft. He's basically peak StarCraft. StarCraft has been his entire life since he was a very small child, all the way into his early adulthood now.
I mean, this guy has lived and breathes more StarCraft than I think anybody else in the world. This is what he knows best. He is in his element, and you see it on stage when he gives the interviews. He is stoic, and it's not because he doesn't believe in himself. It's not because he doesn't care. It's because he has been here. He's done this. He's won so many championships. He's been on so many stages. He is unfazed by almost anything. But
yeah,
if there is one guy in the world I think who can phase him tasteless, it's going to be Dark, because this guy, he might not play like Cyril, but he plays his own brand of Zerg. He's very crafty. He's very tricky. He's very good at late game in his own unique way, especially in terms of spellcasters and kind of, I don't even know exactly how to put it. The tactics that he goes for have so much subterfuge in them, with the Nidus Canals in the main base, with gigantic lurker drops, with all these crazy tech transitions. Maru is going to have to be prepared for absolutely everything.
And we already saw what Dark could do to Kira, but I do think Maru is a completely different animal. We are going to be going into this match, and I want to watch really carefully what the early game is going to look like, because Kira did show if he has even just a little bit of greediness, Dark will pull the trigger. I don't know if we're going to have the same behavior here from Dark against Maru. I do feel like Maru is very good at kind of having all the little corners tightened up in his play to have these very smooth and seamless transitions, but let's see.
Maru is one of the most resilient Terran players in the world, if not the most resilient. He is so hard to kill that I'm wondering the same question as you, Tasteless. Is Dark going to go back into that bag of tricks, come through with some more timing attacks, whether it be with Roaches and Ravagers, whether it be with Lings and Banelings? If he goes for it, is it something that will be successful here against Maru the same way it was against Cure? We know that Maru loves to play these very greedy styles, and basically every single matchup. The issue is here for Dark is that Maru is the best in the world at getting away with it.
Yeah, he goes right up to over the line as far as greed, and just maybe is like one step over or one step back. So it's very tough to know when you're not just going to overextend into him. Guys, our game is now loading up. This is a best of 7 between Dark versus Maru for Season 2 of the 2024 GSL Code S. Womp womp.
Maru asking for a pause here. I'm wondering if it's, again, a sound issue as was before.
Is.
This is the kind of thing that does happen whenever you move a venue in any esports title, any esports event. So we'll see if we can quickly get this sorted on stage.
We're going to see what the issue is. Yeah, once this gets fixed, we're going to go right back into this game, guys. Be sure to tell your friends to join us. This is going to be a lot of fun with these two.
Yeah, I feel like
we're probably going to have a Game 7, at least a Game 6, like you were saying, State.
I would be surprised if we didn't, honestly. I mean, Dark and Maru have been so closely matched for so long. It does feel like Maru over the history of StarCraft 2, and I mean, I guess this does go without saying, but he always seems to get the edge. But still, Dark, his form looks so good today. I think we're in for a treat.
I didn't notice there were two sides to that banner, too. Appreciate the love, by the way, in the signs, guys. There's two sides. Well, the other side's a trophy. What's going on up here? Where's this?
That's a second deck.
Yeah, that's the nosebleed seats up there. We see you guys up there.
Nosebleeds.
Yeah.
Yeah, here at the Sangam Coliseum, there are so many seats, not just in the center of the stage that you guys often get the shot of on stream, but we also have the people up in the second deck. We have people on the sides. It is packed here for the GSL, and it's such a treat to have the GSL finals in a venue like this one. I mean, the atmosphere here is just absolutely electric.
Yeah, you know, it's nice that now, you know, this company is at the point where they have multiple studios. We can really mix it up. It's a lot more of a challenge to, like, find another space and rent it out. And even then, they'll sometimes do that. But this is the newest one they've got, and I really like it. And again, this is sort of in an esports hub here. There's Ziggy. Ziggy, pay attention. Get your sign up, man.
Ziggy's sleeping on the job.
Ziggy's on Team Liquid right now like, I can't believe Taser said tomorrow's the GOAT. This is not fair. So, yeah, there's this building's where the Kespa offices is. That had a huge role in esports. This is where the esports museum is.
11th floor.
It's kind of in a little studio block here in Seoul, so there's a lot of other TV shows produced out of here. Valorant for the last year, I'm sorry, the year previously was produced out of here, so there's been a lot of great stuff. Kartrider, I believe, as well.
Yeah, PUBG Nations Cup was here.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a historic venue, and honestly, it is my favorite, I think, in all of Korea. This is just such a wonderful place to be in. Everything from the lighting to the atmosphere with the audience, and just even the stage is so incredible.
I think the stage is the best part. I feel like it's a real experience. All right, we got some cheers here in the audience. I don't actually know what the problem is, but we haven't fixed it yet.
No.
The audience did a cheer, and then they had to pause the game again, so.
Maru's like, wait, I heard them cheer for Dark. Can you tell them not to do that, please?
Because now my confidence is affected.
I'm sure we'll get back into the action in a moment.
Yeah. Well, they say that, but they're putting us on camera now, so that usually means we got it. We got time to kill.
Yeah, get back in my center.
That's right. I got to go from, like, being a little goblin over here, like, they're making this and that, to actually trying to sit up straight.
One of my
favorite look good.
One of my favorite things any single time we have a tech pause, and the audience never gets to see it because you're always fast enough, is you scrambling to put the blazer back on.
I take this blazer off every time. I take the blazer off, I roll my sleeves up, and I turn my school chair around to face it like this, okay, so I can talk to the kids. Yeah, no, I always take the blazer off. I just feel like it when I cast, I go like that a lot.
You can't flex your arms well enough when you're casting StarCraft 2.
I can't go like that as easily when I'm doing it.
It gets hot usually up here, especially with the lights.
It's just not comfortable. If I can not wear a blazer, I will. We wait. I don't know what the issue is, but Maru's PC is lagging, so we'll see if the restart fixes that. Usually the backup for this is they have a secondary PC. They just unplug everything and plug that back in and fire it up. Yeah,
we've done this even in the GSL studio before. Usually there are extra PCs on hand that already have the game loaded up.
Yeah.
It's just about the player getting in, getting their system settings exactly what they want them to be, which sometimes takes time. It's kind of a technical art now, being a pro gamer in this day and age. Going in and messing with the repeat rates or having some hardware built into the keyboard and getting your drivers.
I remember in the old days when, you just had crappy Windows and, you'd be like, well, that's the mouse setting I had at home. That's the sensitivity. I'm pretty sure, like, enhanced point of precision is not on, but it doesn't feel right.
Oh, it's always the worst.
It's the worst. And you go, well, I know this I don't know. Is it the table? Is it, am I in my head? Excuse me. But
I remember a lot of times when I would play in tournaments, I would struggle because this isn't like a technical issue, but it's more about the desks. Do you remember the
yeah.
very early days of MLGs? Did you see like the open bracket stage of the brackets? I remember playing some open bracket matches where I would be moving my mouse and I would feel the desk shake, and I'm not the only one on the desk, and like the other guys like also
terrible.
in their game and it's shaking. I mean, it was all back in the day. Like that's just
dude.
the way that it was. It wasn't that it was a faulty organization or anything, but that's the kind of thing that teeters me on edge.
I'll do you one more than that. We used to have at WCG, they'd have a tablecloth on the table.
Oh,
and
no.
I'm like, are you serious? I remember like taking the tablecloth and rolling it up.
Yeah, I remember this we had this, I think, at some MLGs and some other North American lands. We had this back in the past. I forgot about that.
They would put like a tablecloth there, and I'm like, well, this is like a dining room table?
Yeah, you're like, your mouse pad is like sliding on the...
sliding. I'm seeing it like bunch up under my arm. We've come a long way.
Yeah. Even now, though, when I'm one of those gamers that when I play, I have almost my elbow up on the desk, and so my hand is like behind the monitor, and I don't know in this day and age if I could actually play, because I would be hitting
that.
I would be hitting the monitor. I need like a monitor arm if I want to game these days.
You don't have a monitor arm?
I do, but I'm saying if I was on one of these stages, I would just be smacking that thing nonstop.
I'm trying to think how I play. I guess it's up to here. I don't think I put my arm all the way. I don't have enough room on my table.
I did that before, but I had some wrist issues.
Don't you not want your arms all the way on the table? No, you want it like...
For me, it's the opposite. I remember TLO was having some wrist issues way back in the day, and what the issues he was describing felt like the issues that I had. And he said that he worked on his posture. What he did was he had his arm all the way up on the desk like this, and I saw that and I was like, I'm going to try it, and I just instantly felt better. So maybe it varies from like person to person or posture.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it depends on how you're built, and you know, there's some strength training you can do there. But yeah, so we don't know what's going on for now. We'll let you know if there are updates, but. Yeah, that's the protocol is they just swap the PC out. They don't bother trying to see what the issue is. They can always check that after the show.
Yeah.
And when we are ready to get into this, we will.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Maru is directly under us, so we can't actually look and see if the PC is getting replaced.
I got to get on my little fireman pole and just go down there and see what's happening. StarCraft forever. I can agree. Oh, I miss it Control too. Yeah. He was so funny.
One of the best to ever do it.
Dark fighting, some dark love here. Well, back to us.
Back to us.
Well, until they get more signs out there.
Yeah. Honestly, the audience here has been so incredible. It's such a treat.
Yeah,
I know. I sound like a broken record saying this, but if you had the vantage point that we do, or if you were here in the venue in the audience watching it yourself, I mean, this just really is a magical place.
It is, and it's cool to see. You've got people, older around my age that grew up with StarCraft 1. You get people that are very young. Some of them pretty new to StarCraft 2. Korean, not Korean, people from all over the world. Foreigners living in Korea, but then also tourists that come in to experience this. So it's really special.
Yeah,
that's close to where we're. Those guys are right by us over there.
Audience,
we see you guys.
They pan that.
They're close enough that they can throw tomatoes at us if the casting gets bad.
Hope they don't.
Well, I'll be the one hit. I'm the one closer over here.
I'll dodge.
I'll be like the bodyguard, like trying to take
Get
tomatoes
down,
for
Mr.
you.
President.
Get down, Mr. State.
Well, hopefully we'll get into the game in a moment here. As I assume, given the duration of this delay, that we actually will have the PC swapped out.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll hopefully they give us an update, but if not, I mean, it is what it is. We talk for as long as we can, and then eventually they either throw it to a break or they fix the problem.
Yeah.
So some Maru support here in the audience. Again, kind of sad to see Creator go down. He had another amazing run, but again, it's just hard to beat him. There's Crank in the audience and Ryung.
Yeah.
Oh, Solar's behind him. I didn't even see that. Solar's like dressed like.
Wait, he's not wearing
where's
pajamas.
Waldo?
I don't understand.
Can't even find him, man. Like. Crank
so
loves
good
this. Let's leave Crank on camera longer. Let's make him no GSL, no life. Wow. I agree. GSL is life.
It's a message.
It's a message indeed.
That's a sign.
That's a sign.
Honestly, I was kind of getting getting goosebumps a little bit because I didn't expect that everyone was going to have the what does the sign say? We are GSL, the GSL banners.
I think it says we are GSL.
When we had the opening ceremony, and every single person in the audience except Ziggy was holding the We Are GSL signs. Yeah.
But to get the season renewed, we need to say GSL is life. We should have brought those. No, it's been an amazing year so far. We had the weird year where COVID hit, and then we couldn't have studio audiences, and there were budget cuts, and then we've had the comeback years now with the crowdfunding, and StarCraft 2 I feel like is in a great place. The game, it does speak for itself. We've had some amazing games here tonight, this whole season, and of course all around the world. The games have been fun. We got the Esports World Cup around the corner. That's going to be exciting.
StarCraft esports really is the best esport there is. And I know I'm an RTS guy, so I'm biased, but
we are.
There's just something about it. And you know what? I don't need to prove my case to you. It's the best. No. If you're watching this, you also know it's the best.
We get to decide it. This is a kangaroo court over here, all right? We're just
you guys don't get a say.
There's no jury. There's no judge or jury really here. So, yeah, we're still waiting. I don't see our player in the game yet, so I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's right. I keep trying to like somehow look over the stage to see Maru, but I just realized that we actually have the monitors.
I keep looking over and I see Dark down there. I'm like, yeah, he's still there. His PC isn't having problems, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll get into the moment.
This has been a good day so far, though. Unfortunately, not a 5-game series for the round of 4. We're being notified probably 5 more minutes here, by the way, before we can get into this game.
Good time to grab some snacks if you want.
Microwave a bag of popcorn.
Popcorn always good.
Get another soda or another beer.
Get another hot 6. Go to your local penny jump.
That's right.
Grab one of those hot 6s. Come celebrate.
But yeah, I mean, this is going to be a fun one. I do hope we get a Game 7. You know, statistically in GSL finals, we rarely actually get a Game 7.
GSL finals, and I hate to say this,
I think it's true for StarCraft 2 in general, but I think it's especially true for GSL finals.
Yeah, I was going to say, GSL finals almost have this curse of generally being one-sided. There have been some really epic moments in GSL, especially the early GSL finals, but I've also blacked out on so many GSL finals that have just faded from my memory because it was a 4-0 where Maru won and went on stage.
Or it's like a 4-1. It's like a 3-0 and then the guy wins one with his cheese and then he dies. So hopefully we don't have that. I think, again, these are two players that can create a really close match.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, I feel like even a series that goes to 4-1 between Maru and Dark will not feel like a 4-1. I mean, these are both heavy hitters.
For sure,
and Dark is also, maybe not to the same degree as Maru, but he's very resilient as a player. He's hard to kill. I could see him pulling some punches even if he's down and out, you know? So I expect this to be a battle through and through, and excited to get started, man.
Yeah, you know,
I'm getting more eager as time drags on.
No, I've just
get into the game.
To embrace the weirdness of this delay here. I am one with the weirdness. I will say, I think that when we get into this, it should be a long game, or long series is what I mean. Because Dark, he's kind of made his, especially in Korea, his play one where he just barely doesn't die every time. And then Maru, he's a guy that just will drag the game out. If he can't win with a push, he will do that delayed, prolonged kind of exhaust play that we see. You know, it's always Dark barely not getting killed with Ultralisks, then kind of fighting back and stopping Terran from getting that last base. I don't really feel like we are past that. I didn't catch that production. You guys say that again.
I think players are actually getting ready, so we should be going into this in a moment.
Okay, good. But I don't know that we're past that meta, that style yet. It did seem like the season we had more push victories from Terran and more games where Zerg was just basically winning with fights and not with the resources on the map burning out, being used up. But I do feel like with these two, there's a high chance that we have games like that.
Yeah, even if Dark were to go for some kind of Roach Ravager Ling push like we saw him do against Cure, if that fell flat on its face and only got a little bit of damage done and Dark knows he's behind, he wants this bad enough that he is not going to give up. He's going to stick with it.
Okay, we're in our game. Wait a minute, are we in our game?
I think they're making sure everybody's ready. They're going to count us down.
Oh my God, they're attacking each other. Get them on screen.
It's a 6-pull.
It's a 6-pull.
Dark killed 6 of his drones and made 2 extractors.
Yeah, it's impossible now.
All right,
let's
guys.
go to game.
Let's begin the GSL finals.
Now that was a true GSL moment for you, State.
I'm parched already. I'm already going for my water bottle.
How many things can I talk about before the game has actually started? Okay, so we've got Dark in the top left and Terran in the top right. And yeah, let's see what kind of game these guys are going to give us. It's Maru going for a quick gas here. Obviously no proxies or anything like that so far.
Yeah, kind of interestingly here from Maru, he's actually not going for the 2 barracks on the low ground. He's going for the 1 racks in the main base with the gas. Kind of similar to the way that Cure opened when he went for the Hellion Banshee build in his series against Dark. And I wonder how much of this is Maru... Let me try to think about how I want to phrase this. I wonder how much of this is him playing the series, because Maru and Dark, both 2 players that are known for being phenomenal at planning a best-of-7 series. There's a reason why they're championship caliber players, and you see them in finals all the time making championship runs, because they're one of the best in the business at planning series out. And so I'm curious for Maru going for this 1 barracks build, if this is something that we're going to see him do more of over the course of this best-of-7, or if this is him just trying to add even more range to his already impressive TVZ.
So we've got the expand coming down here right now. And yeah, I mean, it's going to be a pretty generic opener here. We're going to see what exactly Maru's going to be teching into. Dark, on the other hand, again, with this kind of opening that we have from Maru, there probably won't be too much to deny this third. I guess he's got the SCV here and the Reaper inbound. Okay, I stand corrected. He actually can deny this third.
Wow.
And this is like a pretty handy way to basically control the game. This is really smart.
This feels like a PBZ build.
Yeah, yeah.
And the drone's dead now. What are you going to do, turn into an extractor?
Okay, you know what? You know, I was just seeing the Reaper be made, and I was talking about how there's nothing he can do, and then I looked at that SCV, and I'm like, wow, I'm surprised we don't see that more often.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, it's super smart.
That had shades of Hero going like core first and sending the probe out to block it with a pylon.
By the way, this is currently a 300+ mineral Zerg. He was at 400 minerals a while ago. He's having to just spend his money because he doesn't have a third hatchery. But like, do you know how big that is to stop the third hatchery from starting? The build order is already in the wrong trajectory. So that's amazing.
Yeah, it's a momentum killer here for Dark.
And I mean, it's still not set up. I mean, this Reaper can run interference.
Even just delaying a couple additional seconds.
Yeah, I mean,
this is so beneficial here for Maru.
This is wild. Maru seems to have enough that he's just going to send his SCVs over here to expand.
Mm-hmm. Starport coming in now for Maru as the Reaper's going to try and chase down these Lings and at least catch a couple of them. And this is looking almost identical to the way that Cure opening is. Oh, speed is done actually. Hold on a second. That Reaper made a valiant attempt with that grenade to stay alive, but...
Okay, so beautifully done. The Reaper's out of the picture. Good control here from Maru. I like that Dark is at least using the Lings that he kind of was forced to make here because of the Reaper to try to just stop SCVs from actually transferring. Now, this is 3 command center with a 1-1-1 behind it. So, like, he's going to have a variety of tech. In this case, it's going to be 2 Hellions and a Banshee coming in, similar to what we saw Cure doing tomorrow.
Yeah, and those Lings...
doing to Dark, excuse me.
Right, and Lings coming up into the main base right there, or at least the main base ramp, did reveal the majority, or pretty much the entirety of Maru's tech tree and his economic structure. So Dark shouldn't be caught off guard by these Cloak Banshees coming cross-map. He should have a very good read on the situation. I doubt we're going to see the same 13+ kills that Cure had against Dark in a very similar setup. I imagine the defense coming in from Zerg will be a lot more cohesive in this game.
Okay, so Banshee inbound here. This is Cloak Banshee, by the way. There are some more Zerglings being made.
Yeah, just enough to try and find a surround on these Hellions if Maru is caught sleeping.
Yeah, if Maru is not paying attention, he will be punished here. Those Hellions going to stay out on the map and just basically inhibit the creep tumors from spreading. Now again, development-wise, Dark is kind of staggering just because that third hatchery was so late. Yeah. Everything that could have been the benefit from those two that third base is going to be just a little bit later. Wow, look at this.
We're going to have a timing attack coming in. It's going to be Queen. Oh, this is so smart against the Banshee opening. After scouting Banshees to react like this, Dark...
Oh, this is really smart.
There's a reason why he's one of the smartest players in the world, is he does stuff like this. Like, he has this reputation. Dark is just incredible.
So he's going to load this up. And, you know, the Banshees can't do anything. I mean, they're great at taking pot shots at workers. They are so much stronger at, you know, actually being on top of the production and punishing like that.
He's going to land behind the wall in. Maru will not be able to drop an additional structure to finish that wall in.
Oh my god, this is so smart. I thought he was gonna go for the production, but here he is, he's right at the entrance.
Creep dropping, so the queens are able to transfuse each other. One of the queens getting taken out though. More Lings dropping out. The Lings actually getting stuck right there in the top Overlord, but is it gonna be enough anyway? I think it might be. What a killer push coming in from Dark. Such a smart play. The Overseer also zoning out the Banshees.
Okay.
They can't assist at all.
And the
Lightning Bows are down in the main base, Tasteless.
And the Lings are just going to keep spilling in. There's enough queens. The transfusions come down once more. And the SCV count is about to be, what, below 10 here. He's at 12 right now. The Banshee's picked off. And that looks like it is a fatal blow. GG.
Wow, Dark. What an incredible read to send those speedlings up the ramp into the main base, identify exactly what Maru is going for, and be like, you know what? I know exactly how to stop this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so impressed that it was a drop behind the depots. In my mind, I thought, okay, he's going to go on production. And, I mean, we've seen that a million times before, right? We've seen the kind of the initial defending army dies, and then every Marine pops out one by one and is killed. You know, the Hellions die, whatever else you're making dies. The Banshee can't get away from the Queens because of their range and time. But that was smart. I mean, he basically set up a runway for the Lings to just endlessly spill in. The Queens had enough transfuses to sustain, to trade heals, and there you go. And again, it was another ingenious punish of 3 command center tech play from Dark.
It's what carried him to a victory over Cure earlier on. He would sometimes scout it. He would be like, you know what? I know how greedy you're being. I know how I can punish it. I'm going to come in here and kill you. And now Dark greed checking Maru in this game. I mean, that's a game 1 win there for Dark, and he didn't even really reveal much of his strategies at all.
Yeah.
I mean, a phenomenal start.
That was wild. All right, guys, we're going to go to map 2 now. It's going to be on Golden Aura. Let's continue this on. Right now, Dark with a lead 1-0 versus Maru.
All right, Dark spawning in the top left side of Golden Aura, Maru in the bottom right as the finals continue on.
So, once again, Maru just going to go with a little wall in over here at the entrance. Dark, again, he has had such an incredible showing of just being able to murder Terrans in a couple moves if they are not playing by his rules. I don't feel like we've seen Zergs doing this in general at this phase of the game to the level that Dark is able to do.
Yeah, certainly not to this extent. It's been pretty impressive coming in from Dark, especially in a meta where Korean TVZ is so greedy. Almost every single game that we have in GSL, if it isn't some kind of cheeky all-in, it's going to be some variant of 3 command centers. Oftentimes, a greedy variant with double evolution chamber, or double evolution. I keep calling EBs evolution chambers.
They're evolution bays.
Evolution bays. So Dark coming in against Cure
and
with
the
just
Evos
the
are
pure
engineer chambers.
the Roachling timing attacks, both in game 1 and in game 2, and then coming in against Maru and identifying, because it's Banshee and he identifies it so early, knowing exactly what he needs to do to break it. I mean, I don't know what world Maru holds that push after getting scouted. I feel like you basically can't allow that scout to happen as Maru if you want to play that greedy with that setup of units. It was such a killer timing coming in from Dark, and now I'm really wondering, what is Maru going to do? Is he going to try and taper his aggression a little bit, the same way that we saw Cure adjust over the course of his best of 5 against Dark? Are we going to see Dark continue to try to poke these holes in the greed of his Terran opponents? I'm so interested in the way the meta is almost developing over the course of today, the semifinals and the finals.
You know, it's interesting. Like, I do feel like on some level, if you're going to win, especially in a big series, TVZ, you have to have a couple 3 command center plays.
Of course.
I mean, what year was it we ever had? I guess there was a period where people were going command center first into like 2 base timing pushes, but even that quickly, you know, segued into 3 bases. But yeah, I mean, Dark just seems to have these punishes, and you know, it's funny. Maru's initial tactic, which by the way was hugely impactful in game 1, of the SCV to block and then the Reaper to deny and kill the drone, had huge implications on the options available for Dark in that game because he's not developing normally. And Dark completely turned the game upside down and punished the greedy play anyways. So I've gone from just seeing a player who has taken out one of the best Terrans in the whole world in Cure with a Ling Roach timing attack, and now I'm seeing him do these kind of ingenious drops and cracking open the entrance and just totally killing a 3 command center player. I want to know, does he have anything else up his sleeve here?
Yeah, it's going to be the same build for Maru, so he is not losing confidence in his opening at all here against Dark. Relatively early Roach Warren getting thrown down by Zerg. We'll see whether this culminates in the same kind of timing attack that was able to dispatch Cure in just a handful of games, or if Dark is instead just going to be leveraging this on defense as the Hellions move cross-map.
So this is a game where Dark got to start out, I think, looking, like a build that is still following the pattern that he had planned ahead of time. There have not been any trip-ups that, no caltrops that, Maru could throw out that would slow Dark down in what he's doing. The Hellions and the Reapers are going to, just like any other TVZ, they're going to roam around and try to deny creep. Yeah. It is, once again, it's the 3 command center, Banshee, Cloak, Hellion, 1-1-1 style.
Yeah.
And this time it's 8 Roaches. Are we going to have Lings right after this? It's 43 drones.
We'll see. 9 Roaches in production. That's a pretty sizable amount. But with Banshees on the field, you have to keep in mind that the amount of damage they're able to dish out on Roaches, and especially on Ravagers.
Yeah, that's true. And I don't think Cure went Banshees, right? When he lost? I don't think he did. If
not to the not to the Roachling, timings.
Do we have Lings being made here? Oh, we do.
There are some.
What if this works? I'm like, this just seems so straightforward. I feel like it shouldn't, but...
I mean, both Banshees are going to be kept at home. One of them was sitting over the starport, the second one about to complete. I think we're going to find ourselves in a situation where Dark is trying to get as much damage done as possible, but I don't think this has game-ending potential because of these Banshees. We'll have to see, though, when SCV does get sniped, as these Roaches are going to retreat away. And Dark already droning, so right now the question is here for Dark, how much damage can he actually get done? He's doing a pretty smart thing in terms of just turning around.
So I'm relieved to see this for Dark's sake. Because I think most other Zergs would just dive into this. They've already made the units. We might as well try to get the damage out. And then you have someone like Maru just barely defending. And, he's going to be making SCVs the whole time. He's going to hold this off, and he's going to be fine. In this game, though, we have, Maru basically unaffected. And Dark is still behind, by the way. I mean, those could have been drones. All those Roaches and Lings, they could have been development. They could have been other stuff. So he's going to try to catch up, but this is a pretty bold move. Not attacking with them, realizing instead, let's play from behind, let's play catch up and try to win that way.
Yeah, and as a result, Maru's going to have some pretty sizable windows where he's able to exert power with an upgrade advantage. 1-1, about halfway done here for Maru, just as Dark starts +1 range attack and Carapace. Here is Zerg. Oh, these Banshees also going to be able to catch this drone before it morphs into a hatchery, the 4th base, and now going to move their way into the 3rd base. We'll see how much more damage is able to get done as Dark, at the same time, coming into the 3rd here of Maru and able to get 6 SCVs. That's some nice counter damage, some nice ways of finding value out of these units that he already produced. And look at how fast this Infestation Pit is coming in, Tasteless. 6 minutes and 50 seconds. We have that Infestation Pit coming through. Dark is still only on 3 bases.
He's going for armor and missile upgrades here, so he may be committed to Roach Ravager for the time being and kind of try this battle Zerg style where he's looking for fights. He's trying to kind of shove the Terran off of certain positions by taking advantage of the fact that the anchor weapons for Terran are going to be siege tanks hooked into the ground, and the Biles can basically pick them off one by one.
Another Ling counterattack coming into the 3rd, but Maru is well prepared to deal with this. So the Lings will retreat on out. And it seems like Maru now is gearing up for a 1-1 timing coming into that 4th base. He's already moving cross-map. And Dark, although he's going for this really fast hive, he's been producing a fair number of Roaches and Lings during all of this. 6 more Roaches in production, actually 10 more Roaches as he's really amping up the production to try and stop this push.
And this push is inbound. Now, again, Roach Ravager probably better at fighting in this moment, But let's see how Maru's control is. He does a great split. He avoids the corrosive biles. Tank's not sieged up yet in the back. Excuse me. He's going to finally get those up. The arc from Maru looking really good. He could basically use this doodad in the middle of the map and this hatchery at the top to make an inconvenient point of entry.
Yeah,
the hatchery goes down.
This is Maru taking advantage of that 1-1 timing attack. Right now as 1-1 finishes here for Zerg, you can see the Roaches, the Ravagers trading a little bit better, but too much momentum has been growing behind Maru. At this point now, he does have to lift up and move away, but he's already been able to take out so much. I'm actually surprised that he sieged up those tanks instead of just lifting and bailing out. I thought for sure he was done.
It seemed like a bit of a win more move. So he actually escapes to safety, pulls away, and Dark's going to have to reset on his fourth base. Now, this is kind of a textbook TVZ right now with the Zerg beginning to lose. Is if the Terran can push the fourth base, it's a problem. He even scans here. He confirms, is that the fourth base and where's the tech? And sometimes a game will just kind of repeat like this. Terran will come in again, take out the fourth base again, as Terran at some point in time takes his own fourth. And eventually the Zerg is just two behind, and the game kind of, sorts itself out. Let's see if it's going to be the case this time around.
Last time Maru was able to capitalize on the 1-1 upgrade timing here against Dark, but moving forward, he's going to have a very large window where 2-2 is done, and Dark is just woefully behind as these Queens actually able to focus down one of the medevacs. Some nice damage. The Spore almost hidden by the Overlords.
Yeah, actually,
now the Marines have dropped in. First Viper is coming out, gathering energy from the Hive. Maru tries to retreat. That medevac barely able to survive.
The 2-2 is done. I thought that would eventually be a push, but he picked it up and did a little bit of a drop. Maru is still continuing to grow. He's got a really healthy amount of barracks.
Yeah, he's already up on 8 racks with a 4th command center planted. Morphing into a planetary fortress now as 3-3 starts up. And Maru's been able to put on enough pressure here on Dark that Dark hasn't been able to capitalize on the Hive tech too much. He only really has gotten these 2 Vipers out. Besides that, not much in terms of upgrades coming through for Dark or high-tech units. So Maru once again pushing into the 4th base.
Okay, he's going to move in here now, and the tanks are going to siege up. They're in a great position here. He's not able to get in range. We see the Marines wrap around the bottom here. At this point in time, if Dark can't save this base, he's going to be in huge trouble. It's going to be 4 bases to 3. The Hydras are going to come in here, but there's so many tanks. Reinforcements in the bottom as well.
Maru did such a good job of sniping that first Viper and then using the Marines to basically act as a meat shield for the tanks while also zoning away the second Viper from getting a Blinding Cloud done. And that allowed Maru to really get a good trade coming in here. And now with the reinforcements streaming in, I'm wondering if Dark is going to be able to capitalize on this. Yes, he did hold, but Maru has so much economy behind him. 30 Marines on the map, 8 medevacs, so a ton of healing, whereas Dark is basically stuck on Roach Ravager.
Yeah, he's basically trapped on this tech for the time being. He's not able to get much done. Another pickup over here. Now, again, Dark is surviving, but he is not growing. The pressure from Maru is continuing to come in and come back out.
The game quieting down now for a moment, but you can see just how strapped Dark is, trying to get something done here. He's only on 67 drones to the 83 of Maru.
He's going to be down here in the bottom. Oh, hold on. He's got to actually pick those up or stim away. Now the 5th base at 6 o'clock is being taken. We can see at this point in time, Dark has got enough on the map that he can kind of push the Terran away. Terran's going to regroup, but Dark needs to start growing. He does still have that fighting comp. Remember, he was getting the missile upgrades. He's continuing to get those. So the armor and the missile upgrades are really paying off against the 1-1 that are the 1-1 upgrades, then 2-2, and eventually 3-3 that Terran's getting. But look at another command center in the bottom left. Maru's reach is getting out of hand. It may become less about these pushes and more about the fact that he's just going to be too big. He can have too many pushes back to back to back to back.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. Maru's about to be on 6 bases against a 4-base Zerg. And it doesn't matter that Dark is trading efficiently like this if he can't eventually close the gap economically here with Maru, who's on 86 SCVs right now. Really, the only advantage Dark has is in his army. So he's going to try and capitalize right now in this moment, moving cross-map for this push.
Okay, the tanks are going to siege up. This is a pretty tough area for these Hydras to get in. The 2 tanks at the bottom are targeted, and it looks like some are picked off. A great harpoon in there, pulls that tank forward.
Oh, great Viper usage and still a lot of energy left in the bank here for Dark. His economy's been falling behind, but he has just enough army to breach this position, and maybe Maru has spread himself a little bit too thin. Tasteless, the fourth base, it is lifting up, and Dark might be able to breach the natural expansion.
And now we can see that these command centers that look genius are starting to look pretty bad. I mean, he just doesn't have anything back at home, and I think the Dark can basically move in towards the infrastructure, not play whack-a-mole and denying bases, and instead just move into the heart, go for the kill, take out the organs of the Terran's base.
And in a game where Maru was growing too fast to keep pace with, Dark somehow is able to turn it on its head by capitalizing with his huge army advantage. So many SCVs falling. Eventually this force in Maru's natural will get cleaned up, but what a devastating blow to Maru's economy.
Yeah, Maru going to barely survive. He's sub 100 supply. Meanwhile, the extra command centers, you know, that there's no SCVs over there. Remember that you can ramp up supply very quickly with Roach Ravager. Maru's going to be out on the map. He's going to stay active, only having bases lining the bottom. Can he recover in this point in time? Or is Dark going to be able to muster another attack in that may be fatal for Maru?
Yeah, Dark has made this a game again, but now the roles have almost reversed, where it's Dark who is growing out of hand at 75 workers, but Maru, even though his army supply is a little bit lower, the force he has on the ground is better. He has a ton of ghosts in this mix, and enough medevacs to lift up his entire bio ball should he take a bad engagement, which means, really from Maru's perspective, unless something tragic happens, he's only going to take wins. This situation, just lift up, get out of that position. Only take trades that are going to be good here for you is Maru.
Wow, he's going to siege there. So he decides that he can just put that down, try to hold that foothold, and move out a little bit further. There's going to be a couple more Vipers, and you want to be careful when you have these tanks sieged up on the ground. Obviously, they become easy targets for a Viper Roach Ravager, or sorry, a Viper Roach Hydra, excuse me. You just get the kill and you run right back away again.
Man, and Dark with that push. Maru did a fantastic job stabilizing. We basically normalized this game now, Tasteless, where Dark has a slight edge economically, even though Maru has that sneaky gold base in the bottom left. And honestly, I don't think Dark has any idea. I think that he senses something is wrong, and that's why he's now sending units into that corner to see exactly what's going on. At last, with a unit on the Zelnaga watchtower, the expansion is revealed. So Dark now knows exactly the situation that he's in. I feel like Dark might have thought he was a little bit more ahead, so this might take him aback a bit.
Maru does this sometimes where he just takes these periphery bases, and people kind of expect in a tournament you're going to play very straight up. But yeah, I mean, look, you hide a base and just it's up for a couple minutes. You're going to drink in a lot of the resources there. And your opponent might not have the full information, so they're going to perceive themselves in a maybe an advantageous position when actually they're behind, and they need to start to figure out what they got to do to get back ahead.
Well, Dark now moving into the center of the map. Seems like he has his eyes set on that gold base. And with Maru roaming all the way on the right side, this might become a pretty tricky situation. Nidus Network popping in the main base here of Maru. Maru, has he noticed? Yes, he does. Sending those medevacs to drop on that Nidus Canal. Meanwhile, Dark taking down this gold base.
And he's going to be able to kill this just in time. Man, Maru is so fast. He's so good at doing moves like that. Meanwhile, there's a small force of Marines, Marauders, and Ghosts moving up to the top spot on the map.
I love this Nidus Canal. All the way at the 12 o'clock here for Dark, by the way. Filling up lurkers. Oh, great bungle, too, to slow down this push coming in from Maru. That's exactly the time that Dark needed to get these lurkers out on the map, and they still haven't vacated. That Nidus Canal only just now emerging. Snipes do come in, a couple of lurkers go down, but Dark is taking bases out on Maru's side of the map.
Man, I mean, right now Maru's down to 4 bases. I think this could be an overextension. Oh, beautiful blinding cloud. I couldn't have been more wrong. He takes the tank out.
Dark spellcasting control just absolutely out of the world in this game. I mean, this is so good here for Dark.
Here we go again. Is Maru going to see this in time? I think he might be distracted. It's halfway done.
He hasn't reacted yet. I'm watching the mini-map. There's a lot of lurkers in this Nidus Canal right now, Tasteless, and not a lot of reinforcements coming out of these barracks. Maru's actually supply blocked because he lost the command centers. He can't train units to reinforce. The lurkers get on top of all the production. This could be a huge blow.
There's just nowhere to go. This tank is going to be picked off. And he could just basically completely destroy the Terran from the inside out.
Another fungal landing on all of those ghosts, getting them nice and weak here for the Rest of the army here of Dark, another reburrow on the Lurkers as more units emerge from the Nidus Canals, and Maru's basically just going to evacuate this base. He's going to try and rebuild, he's going to try and salvage the situation, but after losing so many expansions and now the tech and the production in the main, I feel like Dark has him exactly where he wants him.
Sometimes this is, you know, impossible for Terrence to recover from. He's going to have to completely lay out a new configuration for his infrastructure. The Lurkers can burrow over here, maybe even threaten some of the SCVs that are mining at this base. Now it's going to be Terran mining on 2 bases. Nowhere comfortable to produce. A big counterattack is inbound, but we all see the supplies, it's so low here for Maru.
Yeah, even the army supply only at 74. 3 factories in production as the Nidus Canal now being used to reinforce here at that base. Maru does take the expansion out, so he is hurting the economy of Dark a little bit, but there's just so much left here. On the ground, more parasitic bombs getting dropped, those medevacs falling in the center of the map. And I feel like Maru is starting to breathe his last couple of breaths.
I don't see any way Maru can recover.
This command center also getting attacked over at the 3 o'clock position. More Lurkers coming in. Dark plays such a Lurker-heavy style, but he makes it work. What an insane game. A game where Maru was expanding so much faster than Zerg, was running away with this thing economically, and Dark in one attack, able to turn the game on its head, equalize, and then one Nidus Canal in the main base is enough to completely change the momentum.
I gotta say, Dark is just playing on a level that I cannot believe. He's looking better than ever. From going Ling Roach and then bailing when he realized he's not 1,000% this is going to work, to the way he was able to hit different locations. By the way, he missed that gold base for a while, so he was in a really bad spot. Able to hit a couple different locations and then use Blinding Cloud, Roach, a couple Lurkers, and Hydras to kind of just break spots that otherwise, you know, Zergs would never engage with. And then the second Nidus in the main. Guys, we'll be right back. Short break. Don't go away.
Nothing to conquer, burning bright. I don't follow directions, I don't take your advice. I got my own obsession, I ignite. Here I come, make no mistake. Can't stop this anyway. My fire, I'm out making my I'm out taking my shot. I don't care if you're with me, ready or not. I see everyone watching. I'm like sun in their eyes. While the critics are talking, I ignite. Here I come, make no mistake. You can't stop this anyway. My fire.
GSL을 구성하고 있는 보는 사람들, 준비하는 사람들, 열심히 했던 선수들 모든 분들 통틀어서 전부 다 함께 해주셔서 감사합니다. 막 약간 이런 느낌이죠. 그런 걸 주고 싶어요. 김준호 선수한테 스마일상 주고 싶습니다. 이기든 지든 뭐 기분 좋든 안 좋든 항상 웃고 계시고 옆에 있으면 되게 저까지 좀 기분 좋아지는 그런 느낌이 있어서
현우에게 웃음상이라고 하면 이상하네. 리액션상을 주도록 하겠습니다. 항상 엄청난 리액션으로 저희에게 재미를 주기 때문에
I think we gotta give it to Dark. Most strong and most biggest. He's pumped, you know. And maybe Stats. I like Stats laughing. It's always fun.
저한테 공룡상을 좀 좋긴 해요. 저보다 오래 한 스타트 선수가 없기도 하잖아요. 뭐 조성주 빼면 없는데 조성주도 데뷔로 따지면 제가 먼저거든요. GSL 경기가 제가 더 앞경기여서 이 정도는 역사라고 해도 될 것 같아요.
윤수 형한테는 수고 많았어 상 주고 싶고 그냥 빛낸 사람 중 한 명이지 않을까 해가지고 상징적인 사람이잖아요.
조성주 선수에게 GSL 우수상 드리겠습니다. 제 입장에서는 자랑스럽게 낸 건 아니고 아무래도 조성주 선수가 GSL을 가장 빛내지 않았나.
게임 실력이나 이제 비주얼적인 면모나 좀 귀여운 외모로 이제 또 GS 팬분들의 마음을 또 사로잡은 성주를 큐티상 주고 싶습니다.
저한테 줘도 돼요? 정렬이한테 열정상? 솔직히 이제 전역하고 의지를 보여주는 게 저는 정말 대단하다고 생각을 해가지고 선수들한테 굳이 주고 싶지 않은데 저는 제작진분들에게 이제 드리도록 하겠습니다.
상을 뭘 드려야 될지 모르겠어요. 제가 상을 받아본 적이 없어서. 지금까지 이렇게 할 수 있게 계속 열어주시고 신경 써주시고 좋게 만들어주셔서 너무 감사하다고 감사상을 드리고 싶습니다.
사실 GSL 진짜 중계진분들 진짜 너무 고생 많이 하셔가지고
아무래도 좀 다른 게임들처럼 이렇게 엄청 인기가 많거나 그런 게임이 아닌데 항상 열정을 다해서 최고의 중계를 해주시는 모습이 정말 멋있는 것 같습니다. 최고의 중계인상 드리도록 하겠습니다.
이 정도로 되게 GSL 사랑해 주시는구나도 느껴지고 저희랑 같이 또 늙어가잖아요. 인생을 이렇게 서로 공유하는 것 같아가지고 대단들 하시다고 느껴지고
돌이켜 보면은 GSL 팬분들한테 가장 많은 사랑을 받은 것 같아요. 해설할 때도 사실 잘 듣고 있다고 항상 고맙다고 해주시는 팬분들이 많았어가지고 그럴 때마다 좀 감동을 많이 느껴서서
지금까지 이렇게 10년 넘게 거의 지금 11년 됐나요? 지금까지도 이렇게 좋아해 주시는 모습을 보면 제 스스로 계속 되돌아볼 수 있는 그런 시간들을 많이 갖게 될 수 있어서 너무 감사드리고 저에게 있어서는 되게 왕 같은 존재이시기 때문에 팬분들께 수라상 드리고 싶습니다.
Welcome back, everybody. It's time to go on to game number 2. Start number 3. That was, well, guys, can we start the whole show over? This is terrible.
We'll want a mulligan.
Terrible start. Game number 3. Look, Dark, he just went 2-0. And I got to say, he looks crazy good. The predictions that I had, that I think a lot of people had, that Maru should kind of coast through this. Maybe it's close, but it's going to be another Maru victory, easy peasy. Not looking like it. I mean, Dark literally is 2 wins away from taking it.
Dark is playing so smart right now that it's almost hard to put into words. The way that he scouted in game number 1 exactly the build that Maru was going for with his speedlings, and just devised the perfect counter to decapitate him at the natural expansion. And then in game number 2, he goes for this same kind of Ling Roach Ravager timing attack that he was able to use to defeat Cure in game 1 and game 2. And then he realizes it's not going to work, and he plays a totally different game from behind. He just recognizes exactly what his windows are to win, and he seizes the moment. And that's how you become a champion, especially against a player like Maru. Dark now leading this series 2-0. Can he keep the ball rolling, or is Maru going to fight back? Our game is loaded up. Let's go into match number 3.
Okay, going into game number 3 here, or as I said at the start of this, game number 2. I don't know what happened there, guys.
Protoss players really don't know how to count tasteless.
I need my game counting abacus out now. Got some cheers here in the audience.
Yeah, I hope you guys could hear that. That is loud.
It's really exciting to see that this is a 2-0 for Dark right now. You know, if it was like a 2-0 for Maru, it's business as usual. But I gotta say, man, GSL.
Ooh, he's got a dark. That card is going to rise in value so fast if he 4-0s Maru.
Yes.
Collector's item right there.
Yes, we are giving stuff away, I believe, to guests of the show here, people that got tickets. By the way, it's going to be the early Reaper Rush, 3rd hatch control play probably. Although then again, we did see Cure do some weird stuff. There might be something new cooking in the meta right now that we don't know about. So, you know, going into this, I got to say, it's not the protracted, long, dramatic, exhaust play that I am used to seeing. And maybe that's because we didn't get to the late game or the end game, right? But I'm not used to, in the last couple of years, Zerg's just pounding Terrans into submission. Doesn't it feel like if you go back and look at TVZ over the past couple of years, it was a lot more of Terrans trying to stop Zergs, and Zergs either got too out of hand, too big to fail, so to speak, that there was just no way to win unless you were to try that novel approach Maru had, which is like, I'm just going to take the last base, you're going to mine out before me because you're Zerg expand before Terran, and win that way. But Dark seems to have a very tactical style. He comes in, he punishes, he hits the right locations, and basically disrupts and hiccups the Terran while they're in their process, and just ends the game outright.
Dark has done such a good job of finding ways to break Maru, and that is not an easy task. Maru is one of the most resilient players of all time. I mean, it's either him or Cyril in my book. Some nice early Reaper control by Maru, by the way. Gets one drone, almost gets a second one in the natural expansion, but the kind of attacks that Dark is coming with are just so exciting to watch, because you can just see Maru trying to play his game, trying to build up. Oh, hold that thought, actually, as 3 Reapers jump into the main base and then quickly jump back. Always love this little game of cat and mouse with the Reapers in the early game TBZ. But just the fact that Dark is able to identify these weaknesses and just completely send it when he needs to. Like the Queen Ling drop in game number 1 or in game number 2. The fact that Maru had just grown so out of proportion to the Zerg. It was, what, like 6 bases to 4 at some stage? And the only advantage Dark had was that his army was better. And he didn't wait, he didn't bide his time, he didn't try and pick off one base and then move on to the next one. He went into the heart of the beast. He attacked into the 3rd base, he attacked into the natural expansion, and he got so much damage done that the game was able to equalize, and he played from that position so well. It's not something you usually see in Korean ZVT, honestly. Just how clever the tactics have been from Dark, especially in this series against Maru. I was already impressed with the way he was able to beat Cure 3-1. I thought that series was also going to go the distance.
For sure, yeah.
He's just playing out of his mind today.
So, we have a Roach Warren coming down here. I'm not saying it's necessarily going to be any kind of rush. I'd be a little bit surprised, honestly, if it was. But let's see.
I think it might be. We're at 39
It is
drones.
3C again, yeah. It's a very low worker count. And I don't know. I mean, Dark seems to be doing this, and Terrans are dying to it. So I don't know what you want me to tell you. Here are the Roaches now. Interesting to see this kind of shift of Zergs just looking for the weak points of the Terran. It was always the opposite in the matchup. You know, it was always Zergs growing and Terrans trying to poke holes in it, punish transitions, stuff like that. We're in a different world right now with Dark versus Maru. And again, Dark's already halfway there. He took down Cure. He's halfway to defeating Maru. In fact, as far as we're concerned right now, Cure did a better job versus all this. I don't believe this will get there before Stim's done, by the way, in case you're wondering. But this is going to hit hard. And keep in mind, when you do the Reaper opening, you have your 2 barracks at the entrance, as well as the factory. So, like, if you hit the natural, in a lot of ways, you hit the main as well.
Yeah, but similar to the previous game, we do have Banshees out here for Maru. The thing is that Dark is committing way harder this time than previously. He's only at 39 drones right now, which is a very low count. Biles now raining down. He's trying to get Stim. Stim is very close to completion. I don't think he's going to get the cancel, and yeah, it just finishes in the nick of time.
Yeah, but he does kill some workers in the process. He's hiding these lings in the back.
Yeah, he's trying to break down the wall, and then he reveals the lings with the ling flood.
He's not showing them yet. He's going to try to tiptoe in. Oh my God, almost gets that Banshee.
All right, it's time, Tasteless. The Lings now flooding into the natural expansion. More Lings and Ravagers in production, so the aggression is not going to stop here. But I feel like Maru is just playing this so passively back on the ramp. It's hard for Dark to move up into the main base.
Yeah, he can't quite get inside the main.
That Banshee's so close to getting taken out by Biles. It's on basically 1 HP.
But Maru manages to push down the ramp. So much damage getting dealt here. The Ling numbers are starting to thin out. Drones now being made here out of the larva back at home. And so look, Maru takes a bit of a beating, and yes, Dark is going to explode in drones, putting him at about 12 workers ahead. Obviously, the third command center can't be used other than to land mules and make SCVs, so you can't have a third base yet. I still think this is pretty good for Dark.
Yeah, I would say that Maru is ahead, but we have seen Dark already in this series play for positions that are pretty much equivalent to this one. So I would absolutely not take him out. Ling coming into the natural expansion, just getting an idea of exactly what Maru is up to. Does spot one of the Banshees moving out as two Cloak Banshees get ready to roam into the third base here of Zerg. Spore Crawler's nearly complete. We'll see how many drones actually do fall. Very similar to game number 2, Dark is going to be playing from a pretty significant upgrade deficit here in game 3 as a result of going for this Roach Ravager Ling timing attack. Oh, they can trade out some HP for some drones if Maru wants to, but he's playing this so conservatively.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a great move here from Maru. Just try to get something done with these Banshees that did save the day back at home. He can even get a snipe on this Queen. Nice transfuse, but not another transfuse in sight. 1-1's done, by the way, and the third base is up and running. Now, keep in mind that Dark does not have a fourth. He's doing another rush into the missile and armor upgrades. So it's another version of that battle Zerg we were talking about, you know. Tough roaches, tough lurkers, tough hydras, blinding clouds to help. A little bit like the very, very old school StarCraft 1 kind of Hydra Defiler lurker style that kind of goes in and out. It's generally not trendy in StarCraft 1, but it's reminiscent of that.
Yeah, but this time here against Maru, Dark committed even harder to the push and really didn't get that much done. He didn't deny Sim, he didn't kill that many SCVs, he didn't whittle down the Terran army that much. And he still sustained a lot of drone damage back at home. Even now, the drone kills are piling up. The word counts are basically even, despite the fact that Dark tried his best to drone like a madman after his timing attack failed. So I'm a little bit worried here for Dark. Given the upgrade deficit, 1-1 is about to finish here, so there is a chance, if he's able to buy some time, that things will equalize. But the standing army for Dark is so weak, and also the Queen's getting isolated. This is just a heartbreaker for Zerg.
It was a great bait with the Banshees. The Banshees look soft enough that maybe the Queens can fight them, and then they get pinned there by the army. Beautifully done. Now the push is going to come in here.
Oh, what a bungle coming in from Dark. He gets basically every single Marine. The second fungal also very good, but still, I mean, the standing army for Maru is so strong. He's somehow able to trade out almost cost efficiently despite those magical fungals.
Reinforcements are here. The Banshee's going to come in and cause a bit of a headache, but look, I mean, the attack was shut down.
That fungal was insane, Tasteless.
It's this style that from the Zerg that doesn't really force the Zerg to try to buy time and muster an overwhelming amount. It's just a series of abilities chained together that then punish the Terran.
Yeah, the final Banshee finally getting taken out. It's gonna make things a little bit easier here for Dark. As Maru spots the fourth base timing coming in. And Dark is one of the best Zergs in the world at dealing with these very weird situations where you're low economy, you have kind of a non-ideal set of units, like Infestors with Roaches and a handful of Queens, and still making magic happen. And right now he's making 3 more Infestors, one of them burrowed. The center of the map. I feel like this fourth base is almost certainly going to be canceled, and indeed it is. And Dark once again needs a really good fungal if he wants to win the next fight, because his armory supply, although it looks even with Terran, it's basically just roaches. It is 15 roaches and a handful of Infestors. That is it for Dark.
Okay, another little attack in here. He's going to get the deny on this base, killing both the Infestor and the Hatchery, even the Overlord. And Maru's taking his 4th base at 6 o'clock. Now, right now it's still Dark defending. If Dark shuts down a series of attacks, it's going to be a different story. But for now, we need to see, can Dark continue to grow? Because otherwise, Maru's going to outgrow him.
Yeah, but I'm not sure. Oh, what a huge fungal. Again, gets Medivacs and Bio, but is it going to be enough? There's only 22 Roaches on the ground, a handful of Ravagers. As Maru's getting ready to push into 2 different locations with 2-2 upgrades done.
Oh, another nice fungal. Catches some of these Marines on the ground.
These fungals are just insane from Dark. I cannot believe he is making these fights happen with, honestly, such a weak army composition. But
that's going to be
GG's call.
Makes it work.
Dark tried his best. Those were some heroic fungals, but he was just so far behind Maru. There really isn't too much you can do. And I like the decision, by the way, to tap out right there, because sometimes when you play a best of series like this one, best of 7, momentum can build very quickly. And for Dark in the booth right now, if he knows that he's going to lose, you don't want to give Maru a couple more minutes of momentum building where he just feels like he's on fire, he feels like he can take you down, and he knows he's gonna win.
Look at Maru.
You want to try and snatch that away as quickly as possible. I think Maru may be giggling a little bit about those fungals. Is if he allows those fungals to occur in an even game, he's gonna be in a lot of trouble. But of course, Dark after that early attack was pretty far behind.
You know, it was an interesting game. I think we saw the attack come in from Dark, and it looked, I think Maru handled it perfectly by just staying at the ramp. It's interesting that he didn't lift off everything right away either. He kind of kept producing, kind of forcing you to engage fully with the structures on the ground instead of the vulnerability at the ramp. And it was a game where Maru was able to kind of navigate that back into pushes, into attacks, and I think that even though Maru was going for that same style, and Dark going for the same style here, Maru was ahead enough he could just kind of make it work. But we're going to go to Site Delta now as we go into game number 4. Dark up 2-1 here. Let's see who takes the next one.
All right, game number 4. Dark leading 2-1. Spawning in the top left is the blue Zerg Maru. Bottom right is the red Terran on Site Delta. We've seen Dark go back into the well for that Roach Ravager Ling timing a lot so far today. Twice against Kira, now twice against Maru. He's 3-1 with it so far, but I feel like Maru's doing a really good job of holding on now. Even in the previous game, the one that Dark won on Golden Aura, it wasn't because of the push, it's because of the follow-up plays that Dark was able to make in the mid-game and the late game.
Yeah, you know, it's cool to see that even versus Maru, he's willing to try that Ravager Ling Roach style. That, again, I thought was kind of dated, but apparently not. Although I guess the ideas with it are very new, because if you do this double barracks on the low ground style, or at your expansion, really, I guess there's low ground below that, but you know what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. That there's another measure of punishment because production and the expansion are going to be hit.
Yeah, as soon as you breach that wall, suddenly you're in the worker line and you're on top of the production buildings.
But imagine you don't go for Banshees. Yeah. Then, I mean, what now, right? Anyways, I mean, Dark still likes this kind of armor missile upgrade style. Not someone who's probably going to be reliant on Ultralisks in the end game, even like an Ultralisk Rush, since you're not really upgrading into it.
I think we might see him go into that if he has a really good early and mid game. With how fast his hive timings have been. Because the +1 melee attack upgrades, they don't make too much of a difference with the Ultras. Of course, not as much as a unit like the Ling, of course. So I can see Dark just trying to leverage the armor upgrade advantage with Ultras as the backbone of his army. should the game go down that path. By the way, is Reaper getting so much damage on those Lings is a miracle none of them have died.
Yeah, Dark's control has been really good at clicking these Lings away. Wow. Dude, he is godlike. Look at this.
Oh my
goodness,
you're
God.
kidding me.
He's so good. Back at home, the third CC starts. Yeah, so it's going to be 3 commands. Again, you know, I wonder, will Dark do this again? This has been probably the biggest theme out of all the games we've had today. We've had a lot of TVZs, and it just seems like, hold up, Reapers are going to come in here.
Ooh, Queens almost getting one. That grenade almost
insane.
pushed it into range.
So I was just saying, like, you know, it does seem like it's a theme today that Zerg rushes kind of plowing through the entrance. They're back in style.
Well,
yeah.
I was going to say that Kira and Maru both kind of play the same very greedy style quite often in TBZ. We've seen it time and time again in GSL over multiple seasons where they are not ashamed to go for about as fast a third CC as possible and about as fast a double engineering bay behind that as possible before taking up. And so for Dark to come in here with some builds that are basically concocted to kind of break that shell of Terran and really punish the greed, I think it's a smart choice. And I'm wondering the same thing as you. Is Dark going to go back to it at least one more time this series? I think there's a very good chance. Maybe not this game, but later on.
So we've got more drones being cranked out. Zerg is setting up shop over at the third base. The Reaper Hellions are going to be out on the map trying to clear the creep. I don't expect any diving or anything like that. As Dark's going to be running pretty solid defense here, just making sure, you know, they can't get too much done. We've got a couple of links being made, but this isn't indicative of a rush. This is just enough in case, you know, he does have to engage with these. He could try to fight him.
Yeah, some nice control there by Dark, pulling the low HP Queen back.
Here's the double Evo chamber as well.
And this time with no Roach Warren, by the way, Tasteless.
That's
right.
right.
It is just pure Ling.
So we'll see if the Roach Warren is thrown down a little bit later on. He might just be trying to get as many upgrades as possible.
And one of the reasons why a lot of these mid-game fights haven't been so good for Dark over the course of this series, even though he's leading 2-1, is because generally speaking, the upgrade advantage has been so much in favor of Maru. But here in game number 4, Dark actually starting 1-1 before Maru's begun his. Those engineering bays only just now about to finish. And it will be a Baneling's Nest, by the way, for Dark. We saw that in the natural expansion with melee attack upgrade. So a different style of Zerg coming here. On-site Delta. And this is the kind of build that if Dark throws down an Infestation Pit, actually hold that thought, as there's only one Queen to protect, but Maru does not want to dive down on that third base. If Dark throws down this Infestation Pit as soon as the lair is done, we might see another Ultralisk Rush type of build.
Let's see if he goes for that here. Couple more links being made. These are really just for defensive measures. And, you know, Maru, if he angles it right, he can always punish these drones that are out here, like at the extractor. And so far, he's got to get a couple of them.
Surprisingly, no Queen in the main base there.
Yeah, it was pretty vacant, wasn't it? Some Lings are going to come down here and hit these SCVs. So, nice little kill. And he'll run right back out. 4 base to 3 base. So, possibly a game where we're going to just see Maru try to do a push onto the 4th.
Dark once again being a little bit greedy here with the Spore Crawler timings. Maybe wasn't expecting the Cloak Banshee off the back of the 2 barracks opening. Typically in TBZ, it's done after a 1-1-1 with a 3CC.
Right. Although I guess with the amount of times we've seen the rushes to Terran bases, I guess we probably will have Banshees every game here if I had to guess.
Yeah, we'll certainly be seeing a lot of them. There's a lot of links. Oh, the wall is down. Maru's not paying attention. He's microing the Banshee, and now these links flooding into the natural expansion. That siege tank's certainly going to be going down at the ramp. More links flooding in. 1-1 is done, by the way, so they should be melting these SCVs in the main base, even with just a small number of Zerglings.
Kind of crazy to see Maru actually miss that moment. A very cheap and effective run by here. Really big punish. Now 1-1 for Terran is going to be finishing. The 5th base starts for Zerg. I mean, Terran is all the way back at home.
Yeah, and this 5th base, I think, isn't even really an economic play. It's more about just getting more larvae for the Lings as they once again stream into the 3rd base this time. 6 SCVs in total going down during all of this, and Dark has traded a relatively small number of Zerglings for a siege tank for stims on the bio. costing medevac energy, and a fair number of SCVs, both in the main base and in the natural expansion, I believe. And CEST, as that Hive is coming in, it's already about a third of the way done. We might see Ultras this game.
I think it might be right, State. Oh my God. Okay, I was going to say, if this one Ling sees it's down and the rest come back in, it's one of those moments the Lings are just going to be right-clicked onto the medevacs. He's going to be following them wherever they go. Oh boy, does he have Burrow yet?
It's about to finish.
Okay, well, this wall is going to be very helpful. They don't really get much done. Only 2 SCVs go down. Now look, Dark is in a spot where he's looking really healthy. He's got 5 and now 6. The 12 o'clock spot is being expanded into. Marines are going to try to shut that down, and they do for a second, but Zerg can retake this. The point in case is that growth is getting out of control here for Dark. Dark is looking really strong. He's gobbling up the map, and Terran is still in kind of a rallying mode, trying to get as many attacking units out to start pushes. He's buying time with drops, harassing. He did deny the 12 o'clock base temporarily, but we need to see a push.
Yeah, here at 8:30, we already have the Ultralisk Cavern coming in, now at 8:50, but the Hive is done so quick. Adrenal and Ultra gonna be the play here for Dark. And there are just so many Lings on the map, and they're so well upgraded, especially once 2-2 and Adrenal Glands finish here for Dark, that I'm not sure Maru's gonna be able to really get too much done. Let's look at this Infestor. It's almost like a High Templar and a PVT, just basically anchoring this position. Because if Maru runs in, if he gets fungled again, like the way that he did in the previous couple of games, then suddenly he's losing a huge chunk of bio.
Okay, the medevacs, I mean, they're definitely a nuisance. You have to get in there, you have to deny them from getting too many kills on any workers, but at the same time, I mean, look, Terran's just now taking the 4th base at 6 o'clock. Supplies are fairly even. Oh my God.
I can't believe we didn't have the fungal.
That's like they both missed it. What is going on?
I mean, Dark has a lot going on right now. He's trying to chase other medevacs around the map as well. But 3-3 already starting here for the Zerg. Oh, there's the fungal, this time without the Queens. And Maru back at home, by the way, has been quietly changing his army composition to try and adjust for what Dark is doing. He's going for 3 Widow Mines at a time out of these 2 factories with Drilling Claws. So he really needs some consistent splash damage to connect with these Zerglings if he wants to be able to survive the onslaught of 151 Lings that are on the map right now.
Okay, we've got a drop coming in here. We saw Maru miss the lift on the depot. Is he going to notice this one as well? He does.
Yeah, lightning quick reactions there for Maru, pulling the SUVs and stimming the Marines.
Now the Hellbats are going to push up.
Hellbat's a nice addition coming in right now. Dark also going to be hitting the 3rd base of Terran. There's not a lot to protect these siege tanks, even though there's another siege tank on the high ground. A lot of SCVs should fall here.
Oh my God, it's a big massacre down here. The Banes are going to come up. They'll detonate on the Widow Mines. 15 SCVs killed so far. The depot isn't raised.
Yeah, the Banelings and Lings now coming into the natural expansion. 25 SCVs falling already, but Dark did lose a base in the bottom left, and now Maru is working his way all the way to the 9 o'clock expansion. But Banelings streaming in. Maru has to lift off. And Maru's economy is getting slaughtered right now. 37 SCVs have fallen, and these are 3-3 Lings.
And I mean, it's not like he's done with this attack. Dark is going to keep coming here. He's going to keep doing damage. The Lings are so robust right now, and there's many more Banelings coming in. I mean, he might be able to actually just get up the ramp again. Oh. He's going to deny 3-3.
Oh, he's denying 3-3. These Lings actually just 2-2, but they feel like 3-3 with Adrenal done. They're getting so much damage on the Terran. The Planetary Fortress is going to fall to the Ling Baneling. And Maru, he's lost all momentum. 41 SCVs. He has just a handful of Marines on the map, and we have 3 Ultras about to pop.
It's like Dark has figured Maru out right now. This is a completely different alternative style, and it's working perfectly. There's literally just 2 landed command centers right now. SCVs are scrambling to just find mineral patches to start to return to. 3-3 about to actually be done. GG. Dark takes game 4. That was insane.
Wow.
I can't believe what I'm seeing here.
Dark is playing so well right now that Maru almost feels solved.
Maru looks weak. It's weird.
We don't usually see this from Maru. He's one of the most resilient players in the world. You don't see him die like that against basically any Zerg except maybe Serral.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, Dark, not just with one style, not just with one build order, not just with one trick. He's got the full range of play. Once he gets solved, he switches right into the next style. It's working perfectly. And it just doesn't seem like whatever Maru's got right now is going to be enough.
Dark is just playing out of his mind right now, leading the series 3-1. Guys, we're going to go to a short break. When we get back, the GSL finals will continue. We'll see you soon.
But I'm gonna fight till the end. Fill my bitter pipe, 'cause I got no friends. Until there's nothing left, until we find our breath. Until there's nothing left, keep on fighting. I was born feeding the dust. I built my reputation, fought for recognition. I was raised an underdog, would take any evasion, and without hesitation. I've been there, I saw what you saw, and I felt what you felt. And I won't let nobody say you don't deserve this. Step by step, I will be there so you'll never be lonely. I will teach you all I know. And if I have to, I will lift myself up to the heavens. I'll take you out of hell. No matter where you wanna go, I will help you all I can. And it won't be long till you fly away. I was raised an underdog, would take any evasion, and without hesitation. I was born feeding the dust. I built my reputation, fought for recognition. I've been there, I saw what you saw, and I felt what you felt. And I won't let nobody
Welcome back, everybody. The predictions could not have been more off. Right now, it's Dark up 3-1. And honestly, I mean, he's making it look easy. He's got a range of different styles. He is, in many of these games, in control of the Terran. It's a bit of a role reversal from a lot of the TVZ we're used to seeing, where, you know, the Zerg is just on the receiving end, trying to barely hold off attacks, only to grow a little bit more until they're out of hand. Instead, it's really the Zerg shutting the Terran down. The Zerg hitting enough locations, the Zerg punishing the Terran every step they try to take that would put them further ahead.
Dark has been playing some of the best Zerg versus Terran that we have seen in the GSL in years. I mean, it is phenomenal what he is doing on this stage against Maru right now. The fact that he is able to come through with so many quick adaptations to the tactics that Maru is using, to the builds that Maru is going for, and the fact that he has Maru, of all people, on the back foot, game after game after game. It's something we never see happen in the GSL, at least not in the modern history of GSL, through Maru's reign of dominance. But here we are, Dark now one map win away from stealing a GSL trophy from the king of the GSL. Can he close it out here, or is Maru gonna fight back? Let's go into game number 5.
Okay, we've got Dark here in the bottom left, Maru in the top right. And, you know, look, I think there's a real world where Maru can come back. It's just, we don't ever get to talk about Maru in this position to begin with. You know, pretty much every finals that Maru has won, by the way, we're getting some cheers here in the audience, support for both sides. Every game we cast to Maru, it's almost always from the position of him already being ahead. Him already looking strong, maybe having a 1-2 game lead. And it's weird. It's weird seeing him down like this. It's weird saying even the phrase, you know, can Maru come back? But here we are. Now, in this game, it's going to be double proxy racks, Reaper, I believe.
Yeah, the second barracks proxied outside the third base of Dark. There isn't a third barracks being made in the natural wall in here for Maru.
I guess this is a variation of the build that we saw earlier.
Oh my God.
What?
Dark is inside Maru's head right now.
Dude, right
this is
now,
crazy.
Dark is inside the Matrix. No, he is the architect of the Matrix right now. Well, hold on. Is he not going to get this?
No, he can't. Not from that position.
Well, still. The fact that he found that is crazy to me. The idea would be that you would get another Reaper there a little bit sooner, so even if you were ready to try to fight and claim the hatchery, you might still be behind, because they could just make more Reapers.
Yeah, and although Dark can't really adjust his build from this position that much to deal with this, at least he knows it's coming. A lot of times, the second Reaper hitting in an unexpected moment, the fact that it's unexpected is what causes so many problems. So Dark,
Right.
He has a very good read on the situation. He knows with his Overlord, there's one barracks in the natural expansion. He saw that second barracks proxied with a drone. And he should be able to hold on without suffering too much damage. And that's going to be Maru losing a lot of production time on that second barracks when it eventually flies back home. But let's see how much damage these Reapers are able to get done. Oh, wait.
Ooh.
Wow, that was so close to surrender. He gets one!
Dude,
this basically never happens.
I know. I mean, losing a Reaper is huge, and it's basically not allowed.
Yeah.
People are at the point, you know, even non-pro gamers where the Reaper control is nearly perfect, and so you kind of play this back and forth out under the assumption, in theory, that you're not going to lose a Reaper, because if you do, it's like you have so much less momentum. So this is crazy.
And a moment where Maru should be able to exert a ton of pressure onto Dark. It's actually Dark who's just stopped this in its tracks despite basically the sacrifice that Maru made in terms of economy, sending that SCV out early and now losing all the production time on this second barracks as he powers up with 2 command centers back at home. Whereas Dark, he has basically suffered no damage. He's at 31 drones to 24 SCVs. His Overlord goes into the main base, and it spots the third command center as well. And we have seen Dark pulled the trigger and aggression so many times today, in the semifinals versus Cure and in the finals here against Maru. And so knowing that he's basically playing from ahead in the situation, actually hold that thought, these Reapers coming in, they can't two-shot drones. Maru finding an opening that he desperately needed. Is going to get at least 3, maybe even 4. Can he rack up 1 more kill?
Oh!
Drones, they fight back, they get this around.
He's
Those
going to
slippery Reapers, man, they work their way into the natural expansion. More drones are falling, and this is something that Maru really needed in this game.
Yeah, that was huge. The 5-drone kill is massive. Another Roach Warren coming down here.
Yeah, and this is an aggressive one, I think, because Dark scouted that 3rd command center. He's like, okay, you're playing greedy behind this. You're losing all of the production time in that 2nd barracks while trying to go 3 CC.
And keep in mind, you know, this is quite strong versus Reapers. If we don't have a Banshee, there's not an obvious, tool to kind of 100% deny this.
Yeah, but I think losing those drones has kind of set Dark back a little bit here. As
well, he's very good at this ebb and flow. You're right. He might go completely back into macro play and just use the Roach Warren as a red herring here in the build order.
Man, I'm almost relieved for Maru that he was able to find that damage, which is an odd feeling to have. I can't really remember the last time I felt relieved for Maru in a GSL game. I mean, this is basically his kingdom. You know, it feels like Maru is on top of the world every single time he steps on a GSL stage.
Now, you can't talk about GSL without talking about Maru, right? And so, in this game, I mean, I don't see any timing attack at all, although maybe that was the intention before the Reapers hit. But it's going to be 4 bases. 4 bases very quick.
Speedling's finally able to track down that 1 lone Reaper as this Reaper here with the Marines, the last one to tell the tale of the early game aggression Maru was trying to exert onto Dark. And Dark behind all of this, he's been playing really greedy. Fast lair, late evolution chambers, but a lot of drones. And just as you said, CEST, let's take that very quick early 4th base.
So that 3rd's going to be landed. 1-1 coming along here from Maru. And the evolution chambers are late. So 2-2 will actually be starting for Maru, assuming he times it out right, before 1-1 could even start for Zerg. So there's going to be a lot more stability here. Basically, Maru's army is going to be better for the entirety of the game as long as he keeps up with those upgrades. So missile upgrade starts. I don't see the armor yet, but I'm sure Zerg's going to get it in a second.
Yeah, just maybe choosing to get Roach speed a little bit quicker. Now some pressure going to be coming through the center of the map here for Maru. He does have this huge 1-1 timing. Basically a full upgrade ahead of the Zerg. Stem forward here into the 4th base. No drones yet. He will take the fight to the Roaches. Of course, these Marines with 1-1 actually able to mow these Roaches down with good target firing. Actually, another stem. I'm surprised at how committed Maru is, but this is probably why. The Reaper coming into the 3rd base, able to get a couple of drone kills.
Yeah, decent recovery here. Dark going to be able to drive that back. The Reaper going to wrap back around.
He wants that low HP drone.
Yeah. Oh! Gets another one.
I have to say, Maru, after having his proxy barracks get scouted and then losing a Reaper almost right from the get-go, I think it was Reaper number 2 that went down. He's gotten a ton of damage done with these Reapers. I mean, what a comeback from a dismal early game.
So, look, I mean, it's a very healthy Maru right now. He's going to go for 4 medevacs with a big drop, maybe aimed towards the main. The upgrades are continuing to mount here. It did seem like actually Maru was a little bit slow for the 2-2, by the way. So there is going to be a tiny period where their armies are technically even, 1-1 to 1-1. But that's going to be maybe like, I don't know, 25, 30 seconds.
Yeah, it'll be a very small window here. And Maru's going for 8 racks on 3 command centers, so he does not want this game to go late.
No, he wants to get the punches in soon.
Exactly. Marines now dropping into the main base. Oh, if they can get +1. This is Carapace. That's huge if he can go down. Oh my goodness. Carapace falling here for Zerg is a disaster. You're going to have Marines. We saw what they could do with 1-1 against Roaches without Carapace. They're going to have +2 infantry weapons.
And this isn't like Banelings where you can just make the shots connect and even it out. It's like Roaches where you have to go blow for blow versus the Marines. So I mean, if there was ever a position that could, Maru could be in that he should be able to close this out, it would be this one right here, right now.
Yeah, and the fact that Maru is already following this up with an 8 barracks, those Marines are going to put so much hurt on the Roaches. It'll be like something you've never seen.
It really makes you think about where you put the Evo chambers, right? Would it have been better to just have it tucked further away, like to the left? Because a drop in the main like that, you just take what you can get. But there it is, maybe the most important upgrade in the game. Meanwhile, Maru going to come down and try to push into this position here.
Yeah, Siege Tank's going to move all the way up to this ramp uncontested. These are +2 Marines with Marauders against non-Carapace Roaches, but Dark with a fantastic surround. Bile's actually dropping on the Siege Tanks. He just has so much more than Maru.
Oh my God. Can he actually push the whole way through though?
No.
There's more infantry coming.
I mean, the engagement was a dream, but look at how much hurt these bio units are able to lay on these Roaches.
Yeah, there's just so much more sustain here. The medevac's continuing to heal. Dark gonna dive in. He may barely be able to hold this off. We have a few more units trickling down here for Maru, and this may be enough to allow him to cement a foothold and start to then try to pelt this hatchery.
Yeah, do not forget, this is 8 barracks bio. There's going to be a parade push of Marines and Marauders streaming across the map. Dark trying his best to hold on. He's getting a little bit of momentum on the defensive front. Maru's going to have to retreat back home. I can't believe Dark held without Carapace.
This is insane. But that initial attack, I mean, the surround was so good.
It was perfect.
It was perfect. It really was.
I am speechless. I cannot believe that Dark held on against +2 to bio, an 8 racks push without ground Carapace.
I mean, that's, usually there's not much more that you need to conclude that one guy's going to die. It's like, okay, well, you're going to have all the upgrades. And then it's Roach Ravager versus, that is armorless versus this. By the way, it's our old friend, the Nidus Network.
Nidus and 12 Swarm Host, Tasteless.
Yeah.
I think Dark recognizes that he's still in a tough position. Yes, he was able to stop that push, but his army is not scaling that well. He needs to kind of throw a curveball, throw a wrench into the machine that is Maru.
It's almost like I forgot about this unit. For me, when I'm casting this, I'm like, oh, that's right, you can make those. For everything else we've seen here today. So, now we have Maru trying to push out. Now, when you're pushing out like this, sometimes you can only commit about halfway across the map, but this means all this stuff that can defend can't do it now because it's trying to fight for, pressure on these other bases. And if we get a second Nidus, which I think is a realistic thing, basically Dark can oscillate between the two positions and just keep hitting with Swarm Hosts.
Yeah, let's see if Maru goes back to defend or if he instead is just going to commit to the aggression. I think that's one of the big reasons why Dark hasn't sent the Swarm Host out. He knows he needs them to actually stop this push right now. No Infestors on the map. No real Spellcasters besides the 6 Ravagers and 3 Queens here for Dark as Maru once again stemming forward. Now he sees the Swarm Hosts.
Okay, the Locusts are going to come down here. They're coming in a little bit late. Oh, I think Maru might just have too much.
It's still +3 infantry weapons, just +1 Carapace. You can really feel the upgrade shining through.
Oh my God, he's just got so much muscle. He's just gonna stim and dive. The Swarm Hosts are just gonna get pinned down here. The Nidus is killed off.
Yeah, I think Maru might actually just be able to decapitate Dark here.
Yeah, I think this is it. I mean, just the damage output and the armor and everything, it's just insane. Level 3 is done now.
And it takes so long for these Locusts to recharge on those 13 Swarm Hosts. Finally they recover, but Maru can just lift off and go to another base. And while the hold at the third base earlier on in this game was a miracle, Maru is starting to gain some huge momentum.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're going to be 3-2 now. I mean, that's crazy. And again, I mean, the Swarm Hosts now are just sort of it's like a prop. It's a silly party toy here for the game. It can't really do anything because it can't get over to where it needs to defend. There it is, GG. Maru wins another one. The game of catch-up is real. But again, Dark is just one more win away from closing this out.
Yeah, and I got to say, Maru, he does win this game, but for Dark, it almost feels like a moral victory. The fact that he lost Carapace and held that push against +2 bio on 8 racks, a 3cc 8 racks, is almost unspeakable.
It's crazy.
I mean, that's almost the kind of the situation that you get into in a game. And say you're Maru, you win this situation, but you're like, it should have been easier. Why was it so hard?
Well, it's also crazy because it's Maru of all people. You know,
Right.
I'm used to Maru. If somebody does get something like his armor upgrade, we go, well, this is impossible. But, you know, Maru's just so good. Dark, his engage was so godlike on that initial +2 armor push with his 0 armor. I mean, it was wild.
If he had +1 carapace, he might win that game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a big difference in the output of damage coming in from that stim bio. But I mean, Maru, he recovered from a dismal early game. He got a lot of damage done with the Reapers. He showed some impeccable control, some great intuition, picking off drones where he had no right to. And from that, he built a momentum. He sniped Carapace. He was able to carry that to a victory. Can he do it 2 more times, or is Dark going to close this one out here in game number 6?
We're going to find out. Our game is loading up here. Dark versus Maru. Right now, Dark in the lead, 3-2. Okay, we've got Maru in the top and Dark in the bottom.
We're talking about how we felt like this series was almost inevitably going to go to at least a game number 6.
Yeah.
We're going to 6. We might even get 7.
Yeah. The question will be, you know, can Dark close this out? He got a really impressive lead. He's had an amazing series of games. So this barracks is going to be positioned so you can filter Reapers right down into a little rush.
Yeah, it's the optimal position to get that Reaper across map as quickly as possible here. As Maru, and I gotta say, now that we have a little bit of a breather before the action really picks up in this game, what a finals this has been so far.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Dark is showcasing so many different builds, so many cool tactics. Maru doing the same thing, even fighting from behind. It almost feels like Maru is the underdog in this situation,
it
which
really
is
does.
Crazy.
A
crazy circumstance.
That was the feeling I was having during this. Is I'm like, why do I feel like, you know, I'm almost rooting for Maru because Dark looks so good. This is weird. This is really a testament to how good Dark is, how well he's playing, how much he's improved. And this is a very different map. You know, you have the ability to kind of create an opening here on the left side of the map that gives you a pathway right into their main. We know Dark likes to punish Terrans for their open mains, whether that be with Niduses or with Ling run-bys or whatever it is. Now in this game, he's going to use that same tactic we saw before, the SCV block into the Reaper kill. Does seem like the travel distance might be a little bit hard to pull off.
And Dark's going to turn this into an extractor to try and buy some time. Once he sees that Reaper in the natural expansion, he might pop it out and try and take another whiff at that SCV, and Maru knows it, so he sends the Reaper right back down. He wants to make sure this extractor completes and he confirms the kill on that drone.
Yeah, and after that, the drone's gone.
Oh!
So he's going to force that Reaper to stay back there. Now there's counterling play, and that Reaper is forced to try to keep focus firing that extractor. So these Lings can come up inside the natural and then just start to kill workers, and this is going to be a little crazy.
And it's going to be 6 Lings against 1 Marine with no protection. Is it going to be able to retreat to safety? SCV's actually getting pulled. So Dark will back off, but he's going to catch this SCV that was blocking the third base, and this also forces the Reaper back, which means that Dark can take that third base happily. That drone survives.
That was some great counterplay. Realizing the situation he's in, I mean, this is some genius level stuff.
It's really smart.
So I'm not going to lose a drone. I'm going to lose some money canceling and rebuilding, but you have to stop the Lings that are going to come to your base, because I can do the same thing indefinitely with Zerglings and deny you from ever getting your base up because you were greedy enough to make 1 Reaper and not protect your ass at home.
It's really smart. I've always respected Dark as maybe the brainiest Zerg in the world. This guy is just impossibly smart, but the level of clever tactics that we're seeing from him in this finals, it does not fail to impress in any of these games. mean, I am having so much fun. Watch Dark come with all these creative tactics to defeat the beast that is Maru in 3 maps already out of 5. Only 1 map went away from beating the king of the GSL and becoming a champion here in 2024.
So this Hellion's going to try to wrap around. Maru back in the game, trying to look for some kind of damage. Trying to see if there's any openings he can get in and try to slow the Zerg down. It's a weird map, by the way. The Zerg is just expanding through the bottom right. And there's not generally a lot of targets that Terran can try to hit early on. Now, we were talking about Dark maybe blowing up the main of Maru. Maru can do the same thing. Terrans and Zergs can do this to each other. For the time being, it's just going to be the third base about to be laid out here for Maru while he's beginning to power up. And the same is true right now for Dark. He's getting his 2 Evo chambers. Again, the Terran upgrades are a little bit ahead, but that's kind of part of what this build looks like. So it's not going to be a situation where there's just going to be stronger Zerg units at any point in time in this game. They're going to be playing catch-up, and eventually when the catch-up is done, if the game goes on long enough, it's going to be evened out.
It's also very brave of Maru to go for a 3 CC double engineering bay build like this one with no Banshees, given the way Dark has been playing today in the semifinals and the finals. He has been so aggressive at so many of these early games with Lings, Roaches, and Ravagers. And he's won the majority of the games where he's gone for that strategy. So Maru, I mean, this is just another testament to how strong this guy is mentally on that stage, fighting for the championship. Is he's still going to come out with a greed. He's still going to try and get any advantage he can. Even if it's risky, in this game it's already paying off. 1-1 about halfway done. He's going to be a step ahead of Dark for the majority of this game, most likely. And he's keeping pace in terms of economy. That third command center already landing. These Marines going to be moving cross map. Likely going to set their eyes on the 4th base here of Dark. Let's see what they're able to get done.
So we've got the double medevacs coming out here. This base could be the pressure point up here. He's going to unload. I think the Overlord actually saw it, or he wouldn't be moving that away. And remember, when you have mass Roach, you're kind of just running around chasing these off the ground.
Nidus Canal already in production here for
Whoa.
Dark. This is very
Dude, look at the Overlord.
early.
Look at the top left of the minimap.
Yeah, there's an Overlord. It is ready and waiting. This is the
Mission
fastest
Impossible Overlord going over there.
The fastest Nidus I think Dark has gone for so far today.
Well, you know, especially in a moment like this, you're really kind of babysitting your medevacs and Marines. So this could just, I mean, there's actually a blind spot. Oh my God. It's a Nidus-sized blind spot.
Maru might be in trouble. I'm not sure he's going to expect this.
So
and Dark is going to be hitting the 3rd base at the same time he sets up the Nidus network in the main.
And this Nidus is going to finish as 1-1 finishes. Oh my God. Now you're going to hear the sound. Oh, sorry. I thought for some reason it started and finished. He's going to come in now. Now this might force the siege tanks to siege up. Yeah, that's what he wants. Now he's going to back away.
He's biding time for that Nidus in the main base, and it just now pops.
Oh my God. And now the Queens are in here. I don't know that Maru can survive this.
That creep tumor is already spreading. Another Nidus Canal getting set up outside of the 3rd base to reinforce that location. The main base mineral line's vacated, and now Dark trying to seize the opportunity. Going for the siege tanks here outside the 3rd.
Yeah, now there's a little bit of a kind of bottlenecking happening in between the barracks, so some of the Queens were overextended. I don't see more Roaches coming through here, but at the same time, this tank's going to be taken out.
Yeah, Dark is just trying to knock Maru off balance and find the place where he is most vulnerable. Now coming again into the main base as Maru commits more forces to the natural expansion. SCV's trying to block as best they can as more bio stims into the main. Roaches and Ravagers coming out of that Nidus.
There's
just
just
Maru
too much.
enough to clean it up.
Oh!
GG! Dark has done it!
Unbelievable. Dark has managed to stop Maru from winning his 9th GSL. In a historic and dominant performance, he is your GSL champion.
What a tremendous performance from Dark. Coming through with different builds, it feels like in almost every single game. Unique tactics, clever attacks. And Dark is going to be the champion of 2024 Season 2 GSL.
What a very special finals. You know, it's so hard for any of these pro gamers, especially in the last few years, to get any limelight here in Korea because Maru has been such a indomitable force. But here we are. We're going to go to an interview now. Andy, take it away.
Please give it up for Dark, the 2024 GSL Season 2 champion. You lift a trophy on this very stage. It took you a while. It took you a long time. As a final Zerg, you made it. You defeated Maru, the unstoppable force, to win this season. And let's hear from Dark, the champion. The victory you yearned for so much, you finally acquired it. You defeated Maru, who was attempting to get his G9L. How do you feel right now? Well, it's been a hard journey. This is a victory in a long time. I almost forgot how to win. But this time, you know, I am finally able to remember the feeling again. You know, when I was leading 2-0, I kind of got emotional. And I feel like I would tear up if I win. But, you know, right now, I'm not really tearing up. You've challenged GSL several times, many times over the years, defeating all the formidable opponents that got in your way. And the competition is very tough. And I'm sure this season means a lot to you, Dark. And you're not alone anymore. You have a family, you have a wife, you have a baby. And you stay determined until the very end this season. There were many ups and downs, there were highs and lows. But you endured, you showed persistence, and you finally lift up the trophy. And any message to your family? My daughter, she's 89 days old. And you know, even if I just go all in practice, you know, I don't have that much time to take care of the baby. So my wife did an exceptional job, take care of the baby. And you know, watching that, I got really emotional and I felt like I had to win no matter what. I had to win this season. I mean, a completely different mindset after getting married, Dark. Getting through the round of 8, getting through the round of 4. You were the only Zerg remaining in the tournament. And every time, it was Maru defeating you on this very stage. But this time, you did get your revenge against him. And before the victory, you said that you would never shave off your mustache and beard. And actually, some people have clippers. And all the fans, they supported you, they rooted for you all through the day. The fans, domestic fans, the fans who came from overseas, they all supported you in one voice. So do you have any words, do you have any special words to your fans as the champion this season? You know, shaving off my beard and mustache, it's kinda, you know, sad. But I can't really remember how I looked like with no beard. But I hope the fans will continue to cheer for me. And I know GSL, you know, the size has gotten a little bit smaller, but GSL still means a lot to me. It holds a special place in my heart. And I know this might be the last season of GSL, but I'm really happy that I was this season, and I hope it continues. And I'm always grateful to the fans who always come down to the venue to cheer for me, and it's become my impetus, it's become my energy, my driving force. Dark, you will now be embarking on your journey to Saudi Arabia to compete in the Esports World Cup with a massive prize pool. And now the EWC Championship is your next goal. There will be so many fans, so much prize. So your determination heading into that, please.
제가 어제 e스포츠 월드컵 상금을 알게 되었는데
So I realized the prize pool yesterday of eSports World Cup. It was quite startling. It was so much. I looked at my daughter's face, I looked at my wife's face,
다짐하고
and then I'm firmly determined to take the prize of eSports World Cup and make my retirement. So will the beer stay on or will it last until the eSports World Cup?
그건 이제 약간
Are you gonna shave it off? No, I'll listen to the opinions of the fans. So you're gonna listen to the feedback from the fans. Okay. Yes, I will do that. Once again, congratulations on your win today. We'll now commence the award ceremony soon. Please take a seat. Once again, congratulations, Dark.
네, 이제 GSL 시즌 세 번째 GSL 결승전 이제 시상식이 펼쳐지겠습니다. 먼저 준우승 부분의 시상이 있겠습니다. 이번 준우승 부분의 시상은요. 주식회사 숲.
All right, guys, we're going to go to the award ceremony. What an incredible way to wrap up this season. And really a real twist. Like, not a shocker that Dark beat Cure, not a shocker that Maru beat Creator, but then, you know, we had this crazy upset here in the finals with Dark versus Maru.
Yeah, I mean,
we're going to award the runner-up now.
Just an incredible day of GSL. And one of the best finals I can remember, really, Tasteless. It's been so beautiful watching these games. So many fans coming to support Maru, support Dark.
All right, so the GSL Season 2 runner-up is Maru. We're going to bring him on stage. We might interview him. Oh, no interview. Never mind. I lied.
Only the winners get interviews, Tasteless.
Yeah, you got to be ready, viewers. You never know what's going to happen.
Never let him predict your next
you guys
move.
trust me, and then I go, wooga, and I switch it up.
I mean, for Maru, the king of GSL in other finals, is still another feather in his cap, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just another... It is an achievement, guys, getting to the finals, even if you don't win. So, you know, again, it's another thing on the board, another mark in his greatness.
I mean, it says so much about Maru's pedigree as a player that him getting runner-up is a surprise to many.
And a disappointment to himself. Guys, we want to say to you, thank you so much for the support. Keeping the GSL going. There will be more news to come after the Esports World Cup, by the way, guys. Normally we wait until the end of the year because BlizzCon was kind of the end of the year for StarCraft 2. Now it's the Esports World Cup, which is in the middle of the year. Yeah, we're going to have our CEO on stage. He's going to share some words.
And what a well-earned victory for Dark.
You're so Dark. Reigning as champion of the season. So what are your thoughts right now? Well, first of all, I'm really grateful to the fans for coming here, down to the studio. I think this means a lot to Dark. I always see Dark coming runner-up in GSL. But this time, you know, I'm really honored to be able to present the first prize award to Dark. Sincere congratulations to Dark once again.
All right, guys, we're going to close it out from everybody here. We love you guys. You're the best. Congratulations to Dark. What an ending. We're going to let him relish this moment. And we're going to put the pin on here. How many pins does he have?
Well, he's got another one now, Tasteless.
Yep.
And really a tremendous performance from Dark. Some of the best DBT play I think I have ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, a different approach to the matchup. You know, I mean, it's cool to see this game keeps changing. So he will be taking it, guys. Crazy. And again, you know, the Korean scene stays so competitive. We've got amazing players like Maru, but you know, it's players like Dark too that come out here and put him to the task. And sometimes even Maru can't keep up. Crazy. All right, guys, I think we're going to be on camera for a sec, and then we're going to let you go. But this has been another amazing season. My hair's all over the place. I'm like grabbing my head as Dark's winning his games, and now I look like I've been stuck in a storm since we last had us on camera. Thank you for joining us, guys. Again, GSL lives on. It's now 13 years old. Thank you to your support and making us last. And there is a special exhibition here in the building. It's until July 21st, and it is... Well, that doesn't make any sense, production, if it's until July 21st, but... Oh, no, July 21st, because
July
it's June.
21st, not June 21st.
June 21st, all right. So go check out that exhibition, guys. Anything you want to say before we close it out?
It's been a tremendous tournament. I almost got choked up watching Dark win,
Yeah,
and
me
it's
too.
just such a treat to be here again. Congratulations to Dark. Thank you guys so much for supporting GSL. Hope to see you again soon.
Bye-bye.
GSL 없었으면은 아무것도 아닌 사람이었을 텐데 GSL 때문에 저를 이제 알리게 되고 팬들도 많이 생기고 너무 감사한 리그죠.
GSL은 인생인 것 같습니다. 14살 때부터 한 것 같은데 같이 나이 먹는 입장은 좋습니다.
인생의 절반을 함께 한 거니까 반려자였다? 반려자? 진짜 가족이죠, 저한테는.
저는 중학교 3학년 때부터 거의 제 인생의 대부분인 것 같아서 진짜 저의 인생이라고 해도 과언이 아니거든요, 저 입장에선. 그래서 GSL은 나의 인생이다.
반을 거의 GSL이랑 함께 한 거잖아요. 사실 GSL이 없었던 그게 잘 기억이 나지가 않아요. 저는 GSL이 없는 걸 상상조차 해보지 못한 그런 수준까지 온 것 같아요.
제 인생에서 제일 기억에 남는 순간이라고 하면은 GSL 우승했던 때인 것 같고, GSL은 내 인생의 하이라이트였다.
스노우에락이다. 진짜 GSL 때문에 힘들기도 했었고, 그리고 진짜 기뻐도 봤었기 때문에 히도에락 그 자체인 것 같아요.
딱 GSL을 위해서만 평소에 연습들 그거를 다 꾸준히 참아내야지 결국 GSL에서 좋은 성적을 내고, GSL도 잘할 때도 있고 못할 때도 있어가지고 평생의 시험장이 아니었으니까 저를 테스트하는.
저에게 이제 청춘이었다. 아시다시피 제가 이제 10대 후반부터 계속 이 스타트 프로 생활을 했었고 지금까지도 하고 있으니까 저와 이제 함께 이렇게 청춘을 보낸 대회여서
시작인 것 같습니다. 지금까지 옴에 있어서 GSL이 없었다면 저는 절대 존재하지 않기 때문에, 그래서 저는 시작이라고 생각합니다.
저에게 인생을 가르쳐주게 됐고, 무엇을 해야 될지 잘 몰랐을 때 목표를 잡아주게 한, 그 외에도 해설 이외에도 정말 많은 것들을 제가 배우고 고민해 볼 수 있게끔 저에게 기회를 준 아주 제 인생 최고의 멋진 선생님이라고 생각을 합니다.
그 순간순간들의 또 선수들의 그 열정과 그리고 선수의 그 노력을 보면서 아, 나도 정말 최선을 다해서 열심히 살아야겠다 느꼈는데, 저에게는 GSL이 인생의 축복이지 않나 이런 생각을 합니다.
꿈의 무대, 시작을 또 GSL에서 했기도 하고 꼭 우승을 너무 하고 싶었던 무대였기 때문에
항상 갖고 싶은 것이다. 현재로서 한국의 최고의 리그이기 때문에 우승했을 때 그 희열이 제일 굉장한 것 같습니다.
꿈을 실현시킬 수 있는 무대이다. 한 번이라도 좀
GSL에서 경기하고 싶다라고 생각을 많이 했었어가지고
GSL is a very unique tournament, and it's very fun to play always. Very fun tournament.
GSL is inspiration. The players, their stories, the fans are what inspired me to live a life of StarCraft.
The one word I would use to describe GSL is history. The fact that we had all these stories that were told, we got to see all these amazing games happen over the course of 13 years is really incredible.
없어서는 안 될 존재죠. 네, 처음 우승이라는 걸 선물해 주기도 했고 제가 스타트 할 때까지는 없어서는 안 될 존재인 것 같아요.
저한테는 그냥 GSL 자체가 거의 그냥 스타트 같다고 생각이 들어요. 출시되고 나서부터 계속 GSL이 있었고 아직까지 있고 GSL이 끝나는 날은 정말 스타트가 끝나는 날이라고 생각이 들 정도로 그게 거의 동급인 것 같아요.
Incoming transmission.